When you do YouTube because you love to make certain kinds of content, not because of the views, not because of the money. Do it because you love to do it, no other reason.
I remember listening to a couple of those videos you posted with GameStop.
Right. The only real difference between any of the management, like you could be third key or assistant manager, is schedule making. I learned I learned the alarm codes, the safe code. I learned how to open up the store and close it by myself. Like I pretty much did everything that a manager did except
On that note, did you have
manage
to
people's
close
schedules.
often by yourself for the last 2 hours or hour and a half, 3 hours? You know what I mean?
Um, Not usually on the weekend. On
Okay.
weekdays, yes. Like
Okay.
Monday and Tuesday, no one's really going to come in. There were some days where we'd only have 12 customers throughout the entire day, if even
Wow.
less. Like
Wow.
like e- even if it's close to a holiday sometimes, not like the buying kind of holidays, but like the holidays that everyone just kind of wants a day off kind of holiday. Like
Right.
it's just dead because they're just doing something else. And uh sometimes you'd even have to send people home, like they're scheduled for that day, and it's just like, you can go home if you want. You really don't have to stand here.
And I think the biggest thing for me is it's a lot of these locations are small. I think I go crazy at working at a GameStop because just or any environment where it's like you're confined to that little building and it's like I need to go somewhere else to
Oh
walk
yeah.
because oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, it was bad. I mean, hell, think about it like this. You are in that cramped space surrounded by video games. You haven't seen a customer for 2 hours, but the second that you try and play any video games,
Someone comes in.
well, no, not just someone comes
Oh,
in. That's
okay.
probably what they're going to use against you for like firing you or something like that. Like, oh well, you could have been doing something else. I'm sorry. Like what?
I mean, I've
There's nothing to do.
alphabetized and even messed up the alphabetized so I could re-alphabetize because there's nothing else
Yes.
to do.
In fact, that's actually a few things that they told me. That actually happened one time. I was playing on a kiosk for a little bit one
That's
time. I
cool.
was trying out demos. I was
Right.
technically in some ways doing my job.
Because
I
you're
was up
informed a little bit about what the game may be about, and
exactly. I
yeah,
I
it's
needed to update myself on like what this console and the games were about and everything like that. And I couldn't really even mess with it for that long. And then I guess my boss came in at the time and he's like, you could have been re-alphabetizing these. Oh, all right. And it's
notice
like
the word
use it's like
re-alphabetizing.
it's used regular DS games. Like it's in a bin technically.
You know,
So
who's gonna
like no
buy
one
these?
alphabetizes a bin, dude.
Right. Like, is it that?
He
Yeah,
just
is
wanted
it
me to
that
be on
bad?
camera looking like I was working. That's all. I mean, I know he had good intentions and he was watching my back, but I'm just glad to be alive. Honestly, I mean, I think it was mainly just coffee, and then some of the coworkers who still ended up being my friends afterwards,
That's
kind of
good.
stuck around.
That's good. At least
Some of
you.
the customers I even made friends with. One of them I still hang out with to this day.
That's how me and Alex are. Alex and I. He is a employee. I actually met him only through GameStop. I come in and they're like, "Hey Jordan, hey, what's going on?" Like, I'm not really to them. I'm not a customer. I'm just somebody who comes in and hangs out. Like, they don't even treat me as. They're like, if I stand around, they don't. They're not. I'm not bothered if they don't approach me, and they're not bothered if I stay for an hour just looking at the clearance section because, I'm more of a friend than I am a customer, and I've bought
Hmm.
I've gone to midnight releases, which I don't really do anymore. I think they're kind of pointless. But I've gone, done those tons of times. I've bought things a lot of times there, and I bought something tonight, so I didn't necessarily waste my time in there. But yeah, like when I leave, they're like, "All right, take it easy, Jordan. Have a good night, man." And I'm like, "Yeah, see you, Matt. See you, Alex. Bye." I like having those game stops or even places where you're like, you're not going in and you don't feel like you're being attacked with this or that. You're like, it's like you walk in, you're
Right.
like, "Hey, friendly environment."
Right, exactly, and that's the experience that I feel like GameStop really just missed out on. The biggest irony out of a lot of that is that uh, they kind of like at their big manager meetings and everything, they tell them what the main focus is. And for the good while that I was working there, they said that they should focus on sales and reserves, especially reserves, because reserves is usually money that they get before the game even comes out. Like in some ways, it can guarantee a sale
Right,
because they gave you
exactly.
money.
Yeah.
So like one of their biggest focuses is just get them to reserve stuff immediately, like just push reserves. And then after I get fired, after a guy who has 100% customer service gets fired,
Oh, you did. I thought you quit. Wow, I'm
no,
sad to hear that.
fired.
I mean, I'm
Uh,
sad, but I'm relieved that you got rid of that torture. But yeah, I'm sorry that they
uh,
like
no, I
sucks.
didn't quit, man. That was the only thing that I had going for me at the time. I didn't
Damn,
have school. I didn't know any other jobs in the area or anything like that. And I
that
mean, going on
sucks.
4 years, you'd expect it to eventually pay off. But hey, uh, that after I left, I was told by one of the managers that at one of the biggest meetings that they had that they were shifting focus to customer
Oh, hey,
service,
could
and
you
I
have
was
done
like,
this like a year ago? Oh my god. I don't think getting fired from any job is fun or pleasant. So, I mean, what was your initial reaction? Were you like, I mean, screw you guys, but this kind of sucks? Did you have initial like, oh
uh,
my gosh?
my reaction for being fired. I just started asking questions like, they're like, well, they were looking for reasons to fire me because I had lower sales numbers than their poster boy at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, they're like, well, you did this on this day, and you also did this on this day. Like they're pecking for
Anything they could
reasons
pull out of
to.
the rabbit hat, yeah,
Right,
the
right.
rabbit hole or
Anything that they
whatever.
could pull out of their hat, right? So finally, they're like, well, uh, we're gonna have to terminate you. And so I looked at him, and I'm looking at the paper, and I said, I'm not signing this yet. And they're like, wait, why? What's the problem? You're not gonna work here anymore. And I just looked at him, and I'm like, let me tell you something. You you have really mixed priorities here. You have really mixed priorities. I understand you firing me for these things. I get it, company policy. I wasn't going to argue with that. That's a whole bunch of legal stuff and everything. I'm not going to jump through hoops just so I can keep some job at GameStop. I was like,
Right.
fine, that's fine. You wanna fire me for all of these reasons? I'm okay with that. But you need to start treating your employees better. You need to stop focusing on all of this other junk. I don't understand how this is the district manager. This is the guy that's above my boss, right? Like this is the guy everyone's scared of coming into the store and then making sure everything's organized and everything. He's kind of a bit of also like an auditor, kind of, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Uh, so this guy is giving me the papers to terminate me and everything, and I'm looking at him and I'm just like, uh, you straight up told me that I am not a manager, yet I opened the store and closed the store, know the keypad safe code and everything like that. I know the alarm code and everything, and you're not paying me like one. And maybe if I was being paid like one, I would have more of an incentive not to do these things. That and he goes, well, you weren't a manager, and we had this discussion before because I actually did have this discussion before. I don't understand why I was doing all those manager things, yet the company didn't recognize me as management, but that's a whole nother story.
Right.
And he was kind of happy to, I guess, to see me go because I was kind of a troublemaker in his eyes anyway, since I wasn't biting a hand that fed me. He acted like he had a hand that was feeding me, but he wasn't feeding anybody anything but a bunch of lies. I got to tell
I
you.
mean, if anything, you're feeding their pocket. Even if the sales like go by paper, you don't know. You could those people who have liked the experience they've had it with you, Bob, going into GameStop, like the day after you get fired, they could come in and want to buy something because of you, even though you're not there anymore. And in theory, you're still helping them. You're feeding their pockets.
Hmm.
And so
Actually, about a solid month afterwards, I go in and I'm still friends with some of the coworkers, and I just haven't seen them in a while. And I go in there and I say, "Hey, what's up?" They haven't seen me in a while. Handshakes, hugs, all this other kind of stuff. They tell me that people stopped going. Like some people actually stopped going to that GameStop. And I was like, why? Why would they stop coming here? Everybody's pretty awesome here. And they're like, because we've had people call this store specifically asking for you, and they hang up because you don't work here anymore.
wow.
And that's when you know That's when you know you left an impression on that company a little bit harder than what they realized. That's when you know. Nuts. It's nuts what customer service can do. That customer service does more for sales than any of these people recognize. And
Yeah, like customer service versus, all right, let's push this agenda. Okay, do one, like step by step. Okay, do two, now do three. Like no matter how often you do it, even if it's efficient, if you don't have literally, I don't want this to be all lovey-dovey, but if you don't have the love and the actual, sincerity about it, they're not
mhm.
gonna care about buying this or buying that or coming back because that's the first thing, okay, in life. First and last thing to get somebody on your side is love. But in retail, the first and last thing you should be able to do if you want people to come back is, service in the beginning. Okay, you sell some in the middle. Now service them at the end, because they won't remember. They'll probably remember you more than they will remember. Oh, I just spent $200. Oh boy, my wallet's a little bit thinner now. No, they're gonna remember more, maybe more often. Oh hey, that guy, he was really cool. Like this time, that time. Okay, I have to ask this question before I forget.
Sure, sure.
I know from your videos you probably haven't, but since then, has you ever dived at GameStop or even thought about it with a friend or someone who's done it? You're like, I don't know, like,
Not the GameStop that I worked at. No, I've never
okay,
really
in
thought about
general.
doing. I knew some people that did do that on occasion, and I
Hmm.
don't blame them. I mean, there are sometimes some really good things just being thrown
I mean,
away,
you could
but
hate on me, Bob. I don't. I got strong shoulders. I can take it because.
I don't know. I just never thought about it. It's not because it's trash or anything like that. I working there, I collected enough posters and stuff.
Oh
I
yeah, you
don't
didn't
need
need to.
anything.
I understand that because yeah, you're probably like, I don't even want to see anything that's related to GameStop right now.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I still have enough posters. I still have this massive, like, oh man, like 4 foot by 3 foot poster of Borderlands 2
Holy
and stuff
crap.
like that. Like the massive like storefront posters that you see, like like where they have like sometimes where they have like glass panels for the front of the
Yeah.
store, and then they put like a massive
Just
poster in
cover the
front of it.
whole
It's like
panel. Yeah.
exactly something like that. And I had like another one. I have League of Legends posters from when League of Legends like was still a physical, like, hey, I need to go into a store and buy a copy of it.
Mhm.
And a lot of people didn't even realize that that was a thing.
Wow. Yeah, because
Um,
you think it's all online, but I don't. Yeah, I didn't
oh
notice the
yeah,
thing.
there used to be physical copies, and you could actually reserve the game.
I miss
uh,
because I remember like when I was like maybe when I first moved here to Indiana, like this was close to 8 years ago. I remember there being a bigger selection of PC games. I actually, even though I didn't play them, I liked looking at the PC selection of physical games because now when you go in there, it's like there's two AAA games here out of 50 on console that are here on physically on PC. Now I get Steam and all, but for me, I still like if I was PC, I would go out of my way to go on Amazon, wait a week just to get a physical copy instead of just going 2 clicks away, maybe getting a $10 cheaper copy for digital. No, I'm a collector. I will pay the extra $10, wait the extra week just to get it physically in my hand.
oh yeah.
So,
Speaking of the PC section, real quick, one of the customers came in one time. The GameStop's PC section is the one of the worst things I've ever seen. Um, because they don't, I guess, update it. It's not because there's not a whole lot of selection.
I
I mean,
agree. Oh, I
I
agree.
it's because they don't update it. And for a long time, by the fourth year that I was working there, there was a copy of FIFA 2007,
Oh,
brand
I
new.
believe it. I believe
And
it.
this one foreign guy came in. I know he's foreign because he at least didn't speak a whole lot of English. I asked him how his day was going. All he was doing was nodding and said yes. Like I
Oh,
couldn't really say anything about it. And I was still nice and honest to him about everything. And he comes up to me and he's like, football. I was like, okay, I got it. And he's like, computer, computer. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I got it. And I just grabbed him. I grabbed him FIFA, and that's exactly what he was looking for. I didn't go like, oh, you're looking for Madden. Like when you there's a different way to say football and then football.
right.
So he comes in, he says football, and I was like, okay, here's FIFA. He pays $20 for a 2007 copy of FIFA.
What year was this? Was this like 2009 or something?
Yeah, this is late 2009, mid
Oh
2010.
gosh.
$20
2 years old.
for a
Wow.
brand new copy of FIFA '07. And I mean, I can't change the price for him. I
Right.
can't I can't help him out. I mean, I kind of wanted to cuz that's preposterous. That's terrible.
Well, it's probably close to 3 years because I mean these games come out technically like Madden 15 came out in 14 because they like to release it, right
Right,
before.
right.
So it's
So
probably
yeah,
three
he's even
years
older
old.
than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one of the great things about being a PC gamer is at least especially when you're working for GameStop, and this is gonna sound somewhat evil, but every now and again there'd be a customer that comes in and they just can't run it or they don't activate it or like the key code and everything like that. So like off camera you can kind of just take the code.
Oh
And
wow.
it needs to be returned as defective anyway, and it's either going to be shipped out and repackaged
Okay.
in some kind of way or smashed.
Yeah.
You can't like return a PC game and put it back on the shelf since nowadays you have Steam and stuff. So this one guy came in, it was the newest Sim City that came out, and he returns it and he's like, I can't get it to work on my laptop. And I was like, I looked at him in the eyes, cause cause I was gonna take the key code for this if he was honest. I looked at him in the eyes and I was like, you for real didn't use the code that was in this box. And I didn't tell him why or anything like that. And he's like, I honestly did not use the code. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll return it for you. I gave him his full credit back and everything and picked out something else. And after he leaves, I go to bring it in the back, and there's like this blind spot, at least in that store. And I took the code out, and I finally get home, and the code works. I was like,
You
awesome.
didn't. So
I at least
yeah.
did that with Nintendo Power codes because there was no way I was carrying all those home. And honestly, I didn't buy anything with any of those points because I really don't want a Yoshi pencil holder. I'm sorry, Nintendo.
What about the Zelda back, the little bag? I got the Zelda bag because for a while I found a ton of Nintendo points diving, and so I would find those. I would find DS cases by like the dozen sometimes, and I would just use them or give them away in my videos. And I eventually, I didn't get to use them all unfortunately, but I
Mhm.
eventually bought the Zelda like laptop bag or something. It's pretty cool. I don't ever use it, but I still have it. So
I didn't get at the time that I was putting in those codes. We're talking pencil case, uh, a hat, and I'm like, I already have enough hats. Like there was, especially working at GameStop, every now and again, those clothes that sometimes they sell, they'd get pennied out, like shirts
right.
and hats that
Oh,
are
I
free.
found
Like I
shirts.
have plenty of
Yeah.
hats.
You name it, I've probably found it almost everything. Remember the Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Unity dual game download code for the
Yes.
Xbox One? I found that in one of my videos, and I haven't used the Unity code, but I've used the Black Flag and I've played it.
All
I
right.
have a Connect Dance Central 3 code that's not a scratch off, it's a peel off, and it hasn't been peeled off yet. So
Wow.
I found The Last of Us remastered as well on the PS4, and I gave that one away because
What?
yeah, I found the code for that.
Wow.
I was like, really, really, GameStop? We're just gonna throw this away? Like, I have found stacks, like 4 or 5 codes stacked, like somebody was gonna use them and just thrown in a GameStop bag. I'm thinking these are probably used, and and that was at one time as well with the Unity and Black Flag. I'm like, these are probably used. Nope, they're not. Like, okay, if you're gonna take them out, stack them. At least I thought these people would jot them down at GameStop or something, but they just don't use them. I don't find as much anymore. But before, right when the consoles came out, and right before the new consoles came out, there was tons of PS3 games by the bundles being thrown out. I was just like just oh.
I
Who,
just thought about this. Hey, GameStop, you guys are evil enough. This is actually a great idea. I hope y'all are listening. Why not give all of those pennied out shirts and caps to goodwill or even just poor people out on the
homeless
streets?
shelters.
That way
Yeah.
the poor people have clothes and you're advertising.
I
Keyword
mean,
there, advertising. Look, free advertising. Look at it, guys. Come on, GameStop. You know,
right.
put this idea into use.
I have found a GameStop employee shirt in the past, and I gave it away. But with the time that I was gonna wear it, I was like, hey, if I wear this around, I'm advertising GameStop just by wearing the shirt I found. And yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, even if I can understand, maybe they might say, oh, well, we don't want people to assume we're just gonna give stuff away if they don't buy it. But I'm thinking, if you really care about money that much, you could at least sell it for just the amount you bought it for, so at least you're still getting rid of it or try
Right.
to. I mean, don't just be like, oh, we haven't sold in 30 days. We're not going to try. Well, try another 30 days, but half the price or even lower. I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean, if
hell,
you're
even sell it for $1. I'm pretty
right.
sure someone will buy it, no doubt.
And then that at least brings somebody into your store like, oh, I'm buying $1 on this guidebook, but hey, since I'm saving $20, let me buy this game. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I'm just glad I don't have compactors yet. There's 3 GameStops around me, one of which is where I get most of my stuff, and then the other one has it's like in the mall, which I stay away from malls except for Barnes and Noble because that's kind of like okay. But the GameStop in the mall, it's like faces the major parking lot, and there's a security guard that goes around often.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, this is kind of fishy. I'm not going to jail for a couple games. I have my limits too. So I'm like, I've been there once, maybe twice, but I was lucky. I was super paranoid. Like even if I went there now, I'd be super paranoid because after 2 years, I know when something just seems a little bit off. Like this is probably not a good idea. And so, but with the other ones, I feel fine. I mean, I will say, at first it was very awkward and like I feel kind of like a poor man looking for something that I don't have. Like, I felt really weird about it because I was constantly paranoid. Like, is somebody watching me? Is a car gonna be like, hey, what's that guy doing as he drives by? But eventually, I got used to it. Eventually, I was like, I don't care. These are so cool. Like, eventually, I found so much stuff. I'm like more focused on what's possibly here than who's possibly watching me. Um, so it became not so awkward and paranoid to do. It was just it's honestly it's a lot of fun. Like I described it
Uh,
before, it's like Christmas morning. Like I wake up and I get to the dumpster. I'm like, oh my god, what are we gonna find right now? This is gonna be awesome. And then some days I walk away with a ton of stuff, as you'll see in my next dive video. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I found literally a GameStop Ziploc bag and an Xbox One case. That's it. One night. I'm like, yeah, it's better than nothing. Have you ever like caught any GameStop dumpster divers or any have you ever when you worked there
I've
did you
never
ever
I've
talk to anybody who's like, hey, I saw this guy doing this?
no, I didn't ever catch anybody, especially with no security footage in the back.
Right.
But every now and again, I would go over to the dumpster and I'd look at my manager and I'm like, "Hey, where's that stuff that was in
Dude,
there?"
oh yeah. Oh, or you could tell like, hey, that bag's been opened. That's how I every time I do that, I'm like,
Hmm.
I put boxes over everything if I can because it hides all the mess and it looks kind of neat, so maybe it makes it more obvious than not putting the boxes down. But um funny thing is, one of my stores that I've been to that I find a lot of stuff at, it's a local mom and pop shop. They have literally in the past, they know that I've gone there because I think one night I took so much DVDs, all this stuff out of it, they knew it was gone. Um, and so they literally taped a sign in the middle of their dumpster: "Do not dive in our dumpster, whatever. These things that we throw away are broken." And in my mind, I'm chuckling. I'm thinking, obviously not, because they're working when I took them home. So yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. And then I found an HP keyboard lately, and I didn't see it at first, but faintly written on like the main like FJKH letters, it says FU on it. I know it's for me. I know it's for me. And then they've made things inside the game cases. They'll cut faces out of magazines and put them in there. I know they're communicating to me somehow. So
It's not aliens or anything.
I know, I know.
Oh,
I might be paranoid, but I'm thinking I'm only assuming this because people have been going here, and it's not. Unfortunately, it's not just me now, and I've kind of faced this fact for a long time since I put these videos out there. People are going to know about it more and more, and so I've had 2 or 3 people dive where I dive. Um, Luckily, I haven't been caught by police or anything, or if they have come by, they haven't stopped me. So I've been lucky for a couple years. No broken. I mean, I've come across glass one time in GameStop's dumpster, and luckily, no cuts, no major bruises or anything. And I've been very fortunate. I don't wear gloves enough, which I should. Um, so that's my downfall. Is I will like seriously. I've thought about lately. I'm like, I'm gonna get an STD or something from a dumpster in
oh
GameStop.
yeah.
I know I am. Like, and I'm gonna be so ashamed to have to admit that people one day, but I bet I will sooner or later if I don't wear gloves. And the only times I've been wearing gloves have been through the cold. Because of the cold, I've been wearing my snow gloves, and they're thick enough where nothing, glass at first would puncture it. So thank God for the cold, because that's the only time I've been wearing
One of
gloves.
these days, one of these days, their plumbing isn't gonna work, and you're gonna
Oh
dumpster
God.
dive on the worst day.
Luckily, they switched out their dumpster, so it's not a. Well, GameStop doesn't have a big
Oh.
dumpster, but another place did have a big one, but they swapped out for a small one. So I don't actually have to go in the dumpster anymore. I'm at waist level where I'm like, okay, lean over and go through stuff. But yeah, I mean, I know I mean, with GameStop, I've seen their I call them their poopy bags, like their trash bags from the bathrooms. I know what bags are those because I can tell it's a smaller bag and has just like gray toilet paper and stuff, and I'm like, that's the bathroom trash. Don't go through that. And I know what their food bag looks like because that's their break room food because it's just food. Um, I've done it so much now. I know what bag's gonna have stuff in it and what stuff is not gonna be in a certain bag because
Right.
it's. I mean, you had a break room obviously in the back. I mean, would just to get rid of stuff? Would you ever throw games out in just your break room food bag like for the trash, or do you mainly do that up near the registers? You know what I mean?
Uh, Whenever we threw games away, people weren't really supposed to see it going on. Usually, we just like throw away cases and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that,
Okay.
uh, in the front. But as far as like Doomsday for a lot of the great games that I got to see demolished, it was usually in the
That
back, and they
sucks.
made sure to close the door real fast. I mean, I
Oh
had to see
god.
some great games be smashed.
My heart
They
would break.
actually
I know it's video games,
they
but
take a
seriously,
hammer.
that's my childhood. I'm thinking
It's so evil. Like, I understand that you're not making money off of it,
it's just
and it's the
wasteful in
same thing that
general. It's
exactly
just
like we already kind of had this discussion before, but like it's so mind-boggling to to walk into the back and then see your district manager and manager going through a list of things to smash with a hammer or break in half, especially with a disc. They just take it and they break it in half, and you ask, well, why are you doing that? And they're like, oh, because we can't sell them anymore. And then you're like, but there were no scratches or anything on that. Like, it boggles my mind. Like, I get that it takes up space, but don't you have some other way of selling this or giving it out? Or I don't care. Just figure out what to do with it other than destroying it.
if if anything, it's a good PR aspect. Oh, GameStop's giving this stuff away. Good for you, GameStop. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's a good PR move too. So, um, people will want to come to you like, oh, GameStop friendly people. But then again, I mean, I would hate to be the employee where they come in and every other guest is like, hey, I saw you giving away stuff. Can I have something? You know what I mean? Like, I think I would get annoyed. Now I have been given stuff from a GameStop because the manager, like I said, the manager that used to work there, um, she, oh gosh, she, like I came there so often, I might as well have just worked there. But she gave me a couple standees. Did you ever get to take home any standees? I mean,
Oh yeah,
or
yeah. There were a few.
do you still have any
No.
or?
No, I don't have them. I mean,
Dang it!
I'm limited. I'm at limited space here,
Oh
but
my
uh,
gosh,
there
I
were a
don't know
few
how I'd
things
ever
that I
part
got.
with these things. I know they're cardboard with printed, thin paper on them, but they're awesome looking.
I mean, uh, uh, most of the standees that it was only like two of them. I ended up giving away to other people, and then those
I did
people
that
probably didn't
once.
even keep them. It's
Yeah.
it's it's not really like as much as like you would want to keep them like for a man cave or anything like that. Sometimes you gotta let those things go. Like a standee just takes up a lot of room. Now you can like put it against the wall like flat, but it's just not the same. You can't stand
Right.
next to it and feel awesome.
Now I will say I will give it. I gave the GTA standee, not the one that for the 360, but the one that they had, this rectangular one that said coming to Xbox One or whatever. I found that one diving and I gave it to one of my buddies because I literally had no room. I had to decide, okay, which standee am I going to get rid of because I have so many. I mean, I have a Disney Infinity standee that's very simple to put together, but it's packed away because I just don't have room. I mean, this is my man cave. I literally wanted more space. I took my bed out of my room and put it in another room because I wanted to put all my standees in here. That's how crazy it is. Like I sleep in another room from compared to the room where I usually sleep in.
Hmm.
I just I have my Just Cause, Final Fantasy Thief, and then my StarCraft, which I just found. So I I don't know. I just think if 2 years ago I would have never thought my room. I mean, if you go watch my very first videos, um, Bob, you'll see how not just me looking like an idiot with longer hair and like who the heck is this nerd and freak, but this at the beginning, like you'll be like, look how barren this kid's room is, and then you come up to like even my second game room tour, you're like, holy crap, there's just so much crap in here, and like half my posters on my wall have been found from GameStop that I decided to put up. So, I
Nope.
mean, you have sort of a game room kind of thing going on where you have your PC, or is it a totally different thing, or it's kind of a mix of like it's
It's
kind of a regular room, kind of a game room,
kind of a regular room. I mean, you're gonna see stuff that is game related, but it's not a game room by
like
any
full
means.
decked out, like it's got game things here and there, but just Gotcha.
Just like a poster on the back of the door, so like when the door is closed, I'll look at game poster and everything like that. I also got my whole game set up here as far as
That's
like
cool.
the PC itself, but everything else is pretty officey.
That's funny because when you said the poster, I'm like, all right, let me open the door. Can't see the poster? Not a game room. But wait, let me close the
Exactly.
door. Oh, there's the poster. Now it's a game room.
You can want a game room all you want, but sometimes you just kind of gotta. I don't want to be the one that breaks bad news to you. Sometimes you just gotta let some of that go. Like as much as I would love to like cover these walls with posters and stuff, you just can't. Like
Right.
at
And
least I can't. I don't work for GameStop anymore. I can't get that stuff for
I'm
free
at a
anymore.
limit myself. Like
You do
I
have to. I mean, from what I've seen, dude, two kiosk, like you were way over as far as I was reaching. Like you you're already taking up enough space, and now you have all the posters and everything like that. Like I'm wondering if you need to call yourself a hoarder now. Like that's whew,
right. I know
I'm
it
getting
used
there.
to be Bob. It used to be really bad. Like you know the sort of boxes that you have that comes with a lot of the posters and POP and stuff.
Hmm.
Like I used to have. I don't have the picture anymore, but I used to have. Think of those boxes. I used to have probably close to 10 to 15 of those boxes filled with posters from what I had found. Um, now, obviously, I had to learn. Okay, you've got to learn to sacrifice some things. And since you don't even have these posters up, I've limited myself. I don't even take them half the time now, but if I do, I take one of each if I don't have it. And then even then, a month or two later, I'll go through them and be like, okay, which ones would you really hang up in the future? Which ones would you not? You know what I mean? What games are you
Hmm.
into? What games are you not? You're not. I'm not gonna keep Sims. I'm not gonna keep Call of Duty.
Right.
I might keep like Halo or a Elder Scrolls poster just because I'd play those games. But I've come to the point where I can't keep everything myself, and even like the games, I literally have no room for games now because my stands have filled to capacity. And so I that's why I do giveaways and I try to give away the games because I give away duplicates and then like, I have like 10 copies of Connect Adventures. Who has 10 copies of Connect Adventures besides me?
I don't know. GameStop.
GameStop does. That's where I've gotten them from. So I've never bought Connect Adventures. 10 of them have been from them. I mean,
Yeah, the trading credit for that was only 5 cents anyway. So
right? And I'm sure
no, I
there's a
mean
limit.
literally it was 5 cents. Like I'm not being facetious.
And
It's
then that's the
5
number
cents.
one game that has never been scratched probably by human hands because it's.
It's
I don't
never
even have to
touched.
check the disc. I'm like, oh, Connect Adventures, you work. Like it's no one's touched it. There's some games there's some notable games that I have found diving. I have two copies, complete copies of Ghost. I know it's nothing major, but I love finding like complete games with the install disc because it's so hard to do that. Like GTA 5, I have that one that I found. I've got Watch Dogs I found after its release on the 360 and it worked. And I've even got some like Sonic Generations. Did you ever play that game?
Unfortunately, I did not.
Dang it. I found that probably within my first year. I found it sealed. I still have it sealed. I haven't opened it. All my games that I found sealed, I keep sealed. I found it sealed, and at the time I found it sealed, it was like $25, $30 used or something like that. And so I found this Mickey Paint game on the PS3 that's sealed still. I don't know why it was sealed or why. I mean, I can understand throwing games out to some extent, maybe. I mean, that kind of baffles me, but to throw a sealed game out, like somebody's smoking something at this joint. No pun intended. Like I have Connect Sports Season 2 sealed that's been thrown out. Like
I
I
know. How could you
did,
throw away such unique titles?
did you guys
That
ever? I know. Did you ever throw away? It's one thing to do like a well copy used game, but did you ever throw away sealed games?
not that I know of,
Okay,
especially free ones. I mean,
that's
like I
ridiculous.
said, I was the customer service guy, so if they're like, hey, throw this away and stuff like that, like I could usually think of like a customer that would want it, and off camera, I'd just be like, yeah, shove this in your pants real quick, and just
Right.
don't let me watch you
What's
do it.
that bulge? It's Connect Sports Season 2. Don't ask questions.
Hmm. Like
Yeah.
sometimes, like sometimes, especially with stuff like that, stuff that they're gonna throw away anyway. Uh, I would like hide it somewheres, and I'd just be like, yo, go check that section real quick. Like that way it doesn't look like I'm handing him something off camera, even. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like off camera, he's gone and I'm gone, and all of a sudden this item's gone. Whereas like if I'm off camera for a little bit and the item's gone, I'm still back on camera, and then he go checks out the section, blah blah blah, free thing.
Yeah, and I've had people do that. Okay, one experience I had with GameStop. I went in. I knew this girl from a relative of mine, and she's really nice. And I was like, "Hey, would it be all right if I wasn't even asking for anything major. I was like, would it be okay if I had your leftover posters or whatever that you don't want?" She's like, "Yeah, sure. Come in this day, and we'll give you them." And then like I came in, and I'm not trying to sound greedy, but maybe it's because from what I found, I was expecting like the whole thing, or like like 10, 15 posters at least in the box. Like she brought out like I think 2 or 3 posters, and I'm thinking I'm gonna keep diving because I can find way more. I mean, I
Wow.
appreciated her generosity. I kept them, but I was thinking either you don't want to be too generous because you don't want to get in trouble, or you're gonna, because I came back like the next day and they'd thrown out all the other posters. I'm like,
Mm.
oh my gosh, just tell me you can't give me like as much as you want or whatever. I just was like, I tried, but I'm gonna keep diving because I obviously the dumpster gives me more than what you're willing. I don't know if they're. I mean, did you ever experience a customer coming in that was maybe there a long time or loyal to you guys that would be like, hey, do you guys, did you ever have that happen? Because I mean, I understand. I would probably get annoyed over time if people were like, hey, could I have this? Could I have that? Because, that's not part of my job is to be asked those things or be begged
Mm,
to.
uh,
Not
I
really, or
not really. Like no one would ever really come in and like ask for specific free things or anything like that. But
okay,
every now and again, like in case I know like someone's hyped up for something specific, uh, like like for instance when Borderlands 2 was coming out, no one really wanted that really large poster, but I know a lot of people that had it reserved. I'm like, yo, hey, if you want that giant poster, we're getting ready to throw it out. Like if you want it, you can have it. Just wait, just wait a bit, and but not really like with games or anything like that, because in all honesty, the manager at the time and the district manager kind of I guess knew that I would probably hand it out to people. So
right.
like any kind of game that was being thrown away, they kind of took care of themselves. But as far as posters and standees and any other kind of free junk, it's just yeah, sure, you got it, but not for me.
All right, man. All right, take care. Have a good weekend. Hopefully, you find something
You too,
soon.
man.
So.
You have a good night. Have a good weekend.